So often I see a news story and I think there will be lawyers. And this morning we have one to answer some of those questions. Chuck Caraway from Rio and Caraway joining us. Good morning, sir. Thanks for being with us.
Morning. It's never a good sign when lawyers need to get involved.
Yeah, but you see lots of times in news stories, it's like there's going to be some billable hours on this. Okay, so this first story is crazy. There is an attorney down in Southern California who was fined $10,000 because he used GPT or something to write an official document that he was submitting to an appeals court, and there was all kinds of false information in there that the chat bot hallucinated, if you will.
Yeah, so this is apparently a record fine against an attorney, which honestly in this case is rightfully so, because it wasn't the fact that he used ChatGPT. A lot of attorneys are starting to turn towards AI and different forms like ChatGPT in order to assist them in their work. The major issue here was that he just committed a day one law school flaw or taboo in the sense that he had ChatGPT upgrade his original motion, and then he submitted it to the court without ever reading it, reviewing it, or looking at the citations. And there was something like 21 of 23 of his citations to different cases in the law that he's supporting his argument.
Making up cases that don't exist.
Exactly.
Things like that.
It was completely made up. You have to shepherdize your cases, even to the point if you're writing the same motion that you've written 10 times before, if there are citations in that, you have to look at those citations every single time before you turn.
I've never heard the word shepherdize. Now you can tell young lawyers, shepherdize or jeopardize your case. Another big story that's going on right now is there was an arrest made in the Palisades fire, that one that wiped out most of the Pacific Palisades in Los Angeles. And I thought, because the U.S. attorney held a news conference and laid out evidence like, you know, he was on ChatGPT searching or creating pictures of cityscapes burning and stuff. And my initial reaction was, you're going to need more evidence than that to convict. I'm curious, as a lawyer, from what you've heard, what you think about the case against this guy.
So there is a bunch of evidence that you're talking about. You call it circumstantial evidence, not direct evidence, and it shows that, you know, he has like this AI that he's generated burning cityscapes with people running through it. Also, when they found him, they found that he had searched, am I responsible if my cigarette causes a fire and then it goes out of control? But really, there's a lot more direct evidence in this case. What's really important here is that the Palisades fire was started as a result of the fire he initially started on New Year's Day.
A week earlier, yeah.
And it didn't completely burn out, and then when they had high force winds come in, it created the Palisades fire. Now, is he going to be responsible for that? Yes, there's something called causal nexus, which is basically like if you were to take a pole, put it in the ground from the first fire, and stretch that out to the second fire, you have a direct link to that second fire. That'd be causal nexus.
Could his attorney say, well, prove, yes, he started this fire on January 1st, but prove this is the one that became the Palisades fire? Is that a legal avenue he could take?
That's a very good question, and the answer is yes. That actually is the burden of proof from the district attorney in this case. They have to prove that that fire then caused the next fire. And if they don't find that, then he's not going to be on hook for the second fire.
But the first much smaller one.
He would absolutely be on the hook for that.
Another story we had that was really tragic was that helicopter that crashed on Highway 50 here in Sacramento. Unfortunately, one of the people on board has died, but it got me to thinking about, you know, that's a dangerous job in a way, of being a flight nurse or paramedic or something. And we were discussing the kind of workers' comp issues that come from an accident like that, or accident at any job.
Yeah, and you had brought up a good point, and that is that you have an inherent risk in your job. Are you then able to have any kind of legal cause if you're injured? In this case, these flight nurses and the pilots, this is a very dangerous job. Helicopters, unfortunately, do fall or do come out of the sky. Plus, they're going into areas a lot of the time where they don't have an area to land and things like that safely. Fortunately, what we have is we have the workers' compensation system, which allows for you to have a lawsuit in these types of cases for injuries or death where you're injured on the job as a result of the job. And I don't believe that inherent risk is really a factor in that. What's negative about that, though, is that you don't have the pain and suffering damages you have in a typical negligence claim, which sometimes will be the majority of the damages in a case.
We should say we are thankful that we have the people to do those jobs, that do those dangerous jobs.
Absolutely.
Chuck, thank you so much. Thank you for shedding some light on that for us. We'll be right. I guess what Courtney's coming next.
Yes.
Over to Court. Sorry,
Right.
I almost tossed a break. I don't know why I thought we were done.
Not quite. Thank you, gentlemen.